So let's begin again as there was much disturbance from outside. Let me know if there are any questions. I can help you in Hindi or English. Oh, I don't know, I don't understand Tamil, but I can help you in Hindi or English. Good morning, how are you? Mm, I am fine, thank you. How are you? What result will Saturn give in third house in Leo sign in Saturn Mahadasha? Saturn in Leo is a difficult placement. I have it. Okay, Saturn is always difficult for four signs. It becomes most difficult. Aries, Cancer, Leo, and Scorpio. Saturn in third house in Leo is like this. This difficult in matters of relationship with authority figures either at home or at work. Uh, they can have lots of difficulty with them. Then it is also difficult for any health issues related with bones and like this teeth related any chronic nature of disease. At the same time, Saturn is in the third house of business. This person will prosper when he is doing some business related with his probably creativity. Okay, creative, his creative interest, his hobbies, and all. That's where he can have better opportunity in career and all. Mm, Right. What result will Saturn give in? Right. This is done. I am very good. Thank you. Great. Can you please advise how is Mars Rahu Dasha? It depends on the planet's position. Where is Mars placed? Where is Rahu placed? That is important. Plus, Mars Rahu Dasha. If we just go by the natural significators of Mars and Rahu, Mars is your like aggression and anger, and Rahu is enhances things. Rahu further enhances things. So when Mars and Rahu are like together uh, in someone's chart or in dasha also, okay, it can make someone very aggressive person. Okay, they need to divert their anger or aggression in some positive pursuits like physical activities, exercise, gym, sports, running, jogging, and all. They should divert that way. Otherwise, it can be very difficult. Okay. So, but how is dasha? That depends on their planet. What is the topic? No topic. You can ask questions related with astrology if you have any. Then Gemini Lagna, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter in third house, Rahu in the second house. Rahu in second house, fine, and Moon in 11th house. How is Mars Rahu Dasha will be? Uh, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter in third house. First of all, this person should be away from the homeland. Mars, Saturn, Jupiter together, especially Mars, Saturn together in third house. Right, three planets in the third house. Third house is loss of homeland, so they will prosper more in their away from the homeland. Plus, it is third house of business. Okay, so it is like if they get into their own business, it is better for them in this dasha or in future dasha also. Plus, Rahu is 12th from the Mars, so this dasha can bring expenses and losses. So they need to be careful about their wealth related matters. They can have emotional extremes in this matter. In this case, like Rahu in Cancer can bring lots of emotional instability in the person. They can be like either too happy or too sad kind of thing. Okay, meditation is important for them. What will be the results? Meditation is important for everyone, regardless of where any planetary placement is there. What will be the results of exchange between 6th and 7th Lord for Pisces ascendant? That means Sun Mercury in exchange. Sun is in the 7th house and Mercury is in the 6th house. 6th house is conflicts and 7th house is relationship. There can be conflicts in relationship, especially ego conflicts in relationship. So for relationship matter, it is a difficult position, but at the same time, this person can be in business setup, and this person can gain a lot from business setup work. Uh, Maybe healthcare related business. It depends on the whole chart, the field where he should be as a business person, but this is a good combination in career for business related matters. But when it comes to relationship, it can give lots of ego conflicts between people. Right. मैं शनि वक्री और राहु तीसरे भाव में शनि सिंह राशि, एक मिनट, ओ, मिथुन लग्न में शनि वक्री व राहु तीसरे भाव में सिंह राशि में है। सूर्य मंगल अष्टम भाव में है। शनि और सूर्य की राशि परिवर्तन है। क्या शनि दशा में भाग्योदय होगा? शनि दशा में भाग्योदय सर तब होगा जब आप शनि से रिलेटेड कोई चीज़ करोगे। ओके, मतलब आपका शनि है थर्ड हाउस में। ओके, थर्ड हाउस इस तीसरा जो घर होता है वो बिजनेस का होता है। तो आप जब तक बिजनेस नहीं करोगे तब तक कोई भाग्योदय नहीं हो रहा। ओके, so get into your own business, then you will feel better into your career and all. Okay, and if you are already doing it, then it is better for you. Understand this bhagyodaya term. Okay, what is bhagyodaya? Okay, what is bhagya in astrology? Ninth house is bhagya. Ninth house is people of different ethnicity, people of different culture and all. So when you are able to interact with people of different culture, when you are able to interact with people of different culture, and like you can share your knowledge with them, they are sharing your knowledge with them, that is bhagyodaya. The bhagyodaya is not like you are becoming a king or something like that. Bhagyodaya is just that you are dealing with the ninth house related thing. Now this in this matter, Saturn Rahu co-rule your ninth house, and Saturn Rahu are sitting in the third house Leo. This clearly shows that person can gain a lot from his own business. So the Bhagyodaya you are asking is happening only when you are getting into your own business. If you are not getting there, then you cannot expect this Bhagyodaya kind of thing. But at the same time this energy exchange of Sun and Saturn can give like difficulties in relationship with authority figures. They can have issues with authority figures, but when it comes to like their authority through business, they can gain authority through business, because 8th house and 3rd house both are business oriented houses. So get into your own business and you will feel this Bhagyodaya happening for you. Otherwise there is no Bhagyodaya. If you are not doing anything related with that, then there is nothing. Okay. So right, I am Sagittarius ascendant, Sun Mercury in 8th house, Shlesha, Ketu in 8th house too. But I have hate with snakes. My father has same hate with the snakes. My nephew also has this hate. Coming generation. You know why? Maybe it is Ketu is also there. Ketu is separation. Maybe that's why two malefics are there. Maybe that's why. Not a big issue, right? We all hate one thing or the other. What is the result of exchange of Sun and Jupiter from 11th house and 9th house for Sagittarius ascendant? First house and 9th house. So it is like Jupiter is sitting in 9th house Leo, and the 9th lord is sitting in the first house. This shows that like a person should get into any knowledge sharing kind of thing, any work related with teaching, guiding and counseling, because Jupiter is knowledge, 9th house is knowledge. If they get into that kind of work, then when they will have better career, better recognition and authority in the world. Okay. I have Shani in the 6th house Taurus, having Shani Thai, maybe Dasha. Shani in the 6th house is Saturn in the 6th house is like difficult for health issues, but for good for like legal or medical career. Okay. In health matters, a person should be careful about any chronic nature of disease, bones, teeth related, any long disease which can go for a long duration. In Dasha Pravesh, when Mars is in Aries in 10th house and Mars Dasha is started, what it shows, please advise. Mars also rules your 5th house. 5th house is Scorpio. They can have difficulties with authority figures, which means that they should become their own authority. Mars in 10th house Aries can make you like very aggressive kind of thing. Aggressive person, go-getter person in matters of career. You would like to have the great authority, great recognition in your career. That is one of the result. But when it comes to like this dealing with the authority figures also, that aggression will come up. When you are dealing with the authority figures, the same aggression will be there, and obviously your authority figures won't like it, so that you can have issues with them. Okay, so this is where you need to take care. Either become your own authority or learn how to deal with them. Okay, right. What is the result of this is done, this is done. Okay, you're welcome. What about Mercury and Rahu in 8th house for Sagittarius ascendant? Again, they are in the Cancer sign. Plus, first of all, I would suggest that you ask any question rather than testing me. It is not for any benefit for anyone. Okay, I will just respond to this, but going forward it is better to put some question, because this planetary placement can at least give 100 types of results. Rahu Mercury conjunction can bring allergy also. Okay, because Mercury is skin and Rahu represents unusual diseases, so it can bring allergies, and then they are in Cancer sign. Again, the emotional extremes can be there, emotional instability can be there. Person can have lots of fearful. This person takes decision due to his fear. Mercury is your intellect, Mercury is your decision making skills, and eighth house is the house of fear. So they can take their decisions due to fear in their life, rather than practically or realistically taking decision. Going forward, please put your questions. Sagittarius ascendant, ninth house Mars. How is work? Sagittarius ascendant, ninth house Leo Mars. Mars is in ninth house Leo. Mars rules your fifth house. Mars also rules your eighth house, and Mars is sitting in the ninth house Leo. It shows a person who is very much into education and higher education, because Mars rules your fifth house of education and sits into the ninth house of higher education. This person can educate himself very well. They can be very competitive about their education. Means in educational, they approach their education also as a competition, right? Like, I need to score more marks than this person, I will need to score more marks than that person. So this competition is very necessary for them to succeed in their education. So this is where it can give good results. So for educational purposes, it is a very good Mars. But the same Mars is activating fifth house and ninth house. These two houses are difficult for your relationship with authority figures, either at home or at work. So they can have issues with their parents, or they can have issues with their bosses. I have Venus and Ketu together in Libra, in second house of D9 chart. Virgo ascendant in D9. In D1 chart, Venus is in ninth house in Pisces, Cancer ascendant. How can I interpret the deeper meaning of Venus in my chart during Venus Mahadasha? D1 is for whole life, overall life. Okay, when we are discussing about any planetary position in D1. Okay, if I say Sun in this position in D1, Sun in that position in D1, so D1 is for overall life, for all matters of your life. Overall life means all matters of your life, like your education also, your career also, your this relationship also, relationship of any kind also. Okay, so D1 is for all those matters. Okay, so when Venus is with Ketu, Venus is in ninth house Pisces. You in your overall life, if you reflect back on your Venus related results, you will feel that you overall you got good results. Okay, overall. In relationship matters, Venus in Pisces is still difficult, because Pisces is the sign of imagination, and as I said, the Venus in Pisces person can get into relationship due to imagination. So in relationship matters, it is still difficult. But when it comes to and other things like finances and all, you will feel that okay, I got very good results of Venus and Venus Dasha. But the D9 chart is only for your right life path, nothing else. You cannot see your children from your D9 chart. You cannot see your marriage from D9 chart. You cannot see your career from D9 chart. Right life path. D9 is important only when you are following the path which you are supposed to follow, which very few people are following. Okay, we majority of us are following the path which is told by the society, which is our conditioning. There is a wave of people doing MBA, so everyone is doing MBA. There is a wave of people doing BTech, so everyone is doing BTech. Okay, so we make our decisions in our education and our career matters due to these things, like these waves. Okay, we don't really go, okay, what should I be doing as per my chart. Okay, So this is the biggest problem. Very few people are following, and you can count in on your fingers. Okay, very few people are actually following the path they are supposed to follow in this life. Okay, now this is the biggest difficulty which happens. So like you are when Venus Ketu are together in Libra in second house, we can interpret this position in your life path related matters only when you are following your right life path. Okay, if you are following the path you are supposed to follow, then only we can go into the D9 chart and Venus Ketu in Libra, and then we try to interpret it. But as long as you are not even following that path, this placement is kind of like futile. Okay, because you are not even giving your energy there. So this is where the charts make a difference. D1 is for your overall life, all matters of your life. D9 is just for right life path. D10 is for your right karma. D7 is your happiness. Okay, so when you get into all like if someone asks for a D7 related planetary position, we have to just be precise related with the happiness factor of the person, nothing else. We cannot see career from D7. So this is where it gets tricky when we get into divisional charts. Okay, my question is, with Mercury Rahu in 8th of Sagittarius, can person be a secret researcher and discovery in secret? Right, he can be. Rahu gravitates us, makes us obsessed, and 8th house is the house of secrecy. Mercury is about collection of information. So this person can simply be like very obsessed about collect collecting more and more information through research. So this can make a very good research work related person. Okay, Sagittarius ascendant 5th house, debilitated Jupiter in Ashwini nakshatra. How to make good in life, how to activate good way. Jupiter is not debilitated in Aries or Ashwini. Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn. Okay, so first thing is that, and I feel that Jupiter is debilitated in at 5 degrees of Capricorn, that is Uttarashada nakshatra. So your Jupiter is very good. This person's Jupiter is very good because it is in friendly sign. It is in one of the Mool Trikon houses, and it is very good for higher education related matters. I think I am following the right life path, sir. Knowledge sharing and education. Followed your advice only, but I love your explanation. Thank you. Great. If you are following your right life path, it is great. So then that is what I was saying, that for D9 or D10 charts, we have to keep in mind their real purposes. Okay, rather than we are just going into like we cannot relate everything to every chart. We have to segregate things. D9 is only for right life path. D7 is for your happiness factor. D10 is for your right karma, like this. Okay, so sun's position in D1 is for overall life, for all the matters. But sun's position in D10 is only for your career related matters, your karma related matters. Sun's position in D1, moon position in D1 is only for every part of your life, every area of life. But moon's position in D9 only shows that how your mind behaves or reacts when person is following the right life path. Okay, or how happy he feels. In your case, like Venus Ketu in the second house. Now if we go into the question that Venus Ketu in the second house in Libra, it is a very good position for gaining of wealth when you are following your right life path. Okay, gaining of wealth will be there because Venus is in own sign, in second house Libra. It shows that when you follow your right life path, you will get the best wealth. But as Ketu is there, you will still feel some sort of dissatisfaction out of it. Okay, you will still have this feeling that okay, fine, I am putting more effort but I am not getting that much of result. Okay, then Ketu is also research, so it shows that person is gaining wealth from research oriented field. Okay, so these things are important. How to find our real life path? D1, D9, D10, it is the combination of all the charts we have to analyze. It usually takes around one and a half year, half hour time. Okay, one and a half hour time, then we can understand. Pranam, Jisha madam, how are you? What is the connection between long hairs and spirituality? I don't know. I heard somewhere that when Ketu connects with Mercury, person should grow the hair long. Mm, Ketu is anyways headless, right? I don't know actually, like for hairs and all. Ketu with Mercury, maybe. I'm not too sure. Okay. Uh, we can see from different angle that one there was a kid who asked Osho that he said that the kid said told Osho that your eyes are beautiful, but why do you grow your beard? So Osho said that your question is wrong, because uh, like my eyes may be beautiful, but uh, I am not growing my beard. My beard grows automatically on its own. Okay, so this is the thing that a person, when he really gets into spirituality, he realizes that growing hairs is a natural thing. Understand this basic thing. Hairs growing are natural, hairs cutting are unnatural. Okay, someone who cuts the hairs, you should ask that person why he is cutting his hairs, rather than asking the person who is letting his hairs grow, because the growing of hairs is a natural thing. Astrologically, I am not aware that what planets make someone grow hairs and all. Like we can again, like Ketu represents I am just connecting the dots. So Ketu and Jupiter, Venus. Okay, uh, Jupiter and Venus are teachers, gurus. Okay, and Ketu represents spirituality. Normally, like when we see a guru type of person, he has long hairs. Okay, long beard also. So maybe Ketu, Jupiter, Venus, and any spiritual type of person, they may have like a long hairs and all. So that's why Ketu, Jupiter, and Venus can be connected. But I am not too sure. I am just connecting the dots. I am just guessing right now. Okay. You do personal chart reading, right? I do. Then in D10, should we look at ascendant and sun's position only, or we should look at what is the Amatkaraka and where that is placed in D10? In D10, ascendant lord, 10th house lord. If any planet is in the ascendant or 10th house, that is they are also important. Sun is the karaka of D10, so sun is also important, and then Atmakaraka, Amatkaraka. Okay. I have not got your answer. Session was not active, hence I am asking the question again here. Preparing. Yeah, I just tried to tell. Maybe I got disconnected. Okay, I was seeing that Saturn ruling your ninth house and Saturn sitting in the ninth house. It is like double impact of Saturn in your ninth house of higher education. So you may have like delayed realization of your delayed realization of your path in higher education related matters. So that's why you may have like now you are feeling going for competition examination, or you are preparing for that. Okay, so and that is the thing with Saturn in that ninth house Capricorn. Okay, you're welcome. Nice, thank you, welcome. How to connect you to you for personal chart reading and how much charge? If you just go on astrosaxena.in, there is a services tab. You will get all the information there. Astrosaxena.in services tab, it is the middle tab. Okay, you will get all the information there, and you can apply for consultation. The fees is different for different types of consultation. Okay. Okay, any question? Any further question? Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you, sir. It is information, not knowledge. At least for me, it is information. Okay. Okay, I think we are done. Thank you and sorry for the disturbance. Uh, we will try to have better sessions in future, if God permit. Okay. It is always great to listen. Just a second. Yo. Oh, bhai. It is always great to listen to you, sir. Thank you. You're welcome. It is always great to get questions from you people. It is same. Okay. Thank you. Take care. All the best. Enjoy your remaining Sunday, and let's meet next week. Okay. Bye. Take care.